That's the first thing I want to say.
Is it really?
Love is unconditional. If it's conditions on it, it ain't love. It's a contract. And that's okay if both of you agree on those terms. She may agree. We have a pleasure contract. We got an economic contract where you're going to take care of me. And as long as you take care of me, I'm going to be your woman. The Puff Daddy arrangement. You feel me? It works for some people. No, you have women like that. You have men like that.
Right.
I'm going to floss you up. And as long as I floss you up, you're going to be loyal to me. But that's a contract. That's not love. Contracts are different from love. Why? Contracts are conditional. Right. Love is unconditional. If I love my queen, what if she comes home one day and say, hey, baby, I don't want to work this. I don't want to be a lawyer no more. But if I only married her because I like the way her law degree looks on Dr. Umar in public, you see how this goes. She's changing. But if I love her, okay, baby, that's what you don't want to do. You want to go into something else? Let's do it. Love is, when you love somebody, you are 100% unapologetically and unconditionally committed to that person's best interest, even if it is to your loss. What if your fiance come home and say, listen, babe, I had a long conversation with my ex-husband. I never thought I would look at this again, but we left a lot on the table together. I enjoyed the time we had. I think that man might still be my soulmate. I got to move on. I might still hurt because I loved her, right? But if that love is true, if you feel that's who you meant to spend the rest of your life with, I gotta love you and want the best for you. Most of us cannot do that. What we call love is limited to your investment in me. You see that?
Yeah.
Anytime they step outside of the box we created for them, we get angry because that was not love. You had conditions on it. Your woman gained 20 pounds. Now you're going to divorce her. You say, if you gain another 20 pounds, this marriage is over. That was not love. That was a contract because it had conditions. If I love that woman unconditionally, whether she gained 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, I'm not going nowhere. Yeah, we might need to have a conversation about her health because I want you around for our children to get married. You understand? Right. But there's no such thing as ending a relationship because you stepped outside of my perfect box if you loved her. Love is unconditional. And most of what we got in the black community are contracts disguised as loving relationships.
I definitely agree with Dr. Umar on this because I mean, it's 2024. A lot of relationships are built on conditions. Right? What one can do for you and what one cannot do or wouldn't do. All right. So when those conditions dwindles or are not in existence, then what? Then we stop loving the person. All right. So I personally believe there shouldn't be any conditions, right? But once you put pen and paper down, then you've made it into a law. All right. We have to abide by these rules. We have to take this vow. All right. And I personally believe once you have to take a vow to love a person, you've limited your love for the person, all right? You're supposed to be able to love naturally. If it's pure love, you're supposed to be able to do it naturally. Now, once you got to take a vow before you commit, for me, I side-eye, I look at it different. I look at it with a side-eye, all right? But we are human beings also, right? So how do you trust, right? Some people can only trust the vow, all right? So the vow works for other people, it works for a lot of people, all right? But people break it all the time, right? Because we are human beings. We will fall short, so we are not perfect. You might be perfect in your own world, but in the eyes of the next person or in the eyes of God, whoever you believe in, you're imperfect, right? So no matter how perfect or great you are, somebody will see a fault or some fault in you. That's just given. That's just life. That's just our nature, right? Because of our differences in our mentality, in our mindset, and how we think, how we perceive information. All right, we may be looking at two things with different lenses. That's just part of it. So then, how does a relationship work? I believe it's accepting the differences, all right, and then working on the similarities, focusing on the similarities, and then being able to forgive and forget for long-term value, long-term purposes. Being able to forgive and forget should be key. And like I said, I agree with the video. Once you put pen and paper down, once you put the conditions down, what if those conditions change? What if they're not healthy anymore? What if they became too small or they became too big? What if they are growing gray hair now, like I am? Then what? Right? So that young person you met is now growing all gray hair. So then, has the physique and the looks changed in your eyes that you don't like anymore? Because he's not or she's not the same person like 10 years ago. Because we are human beings. It's 2024. You can only trust by so much. But also, it's kind of odd that you're able to like the person or love the person for, let's say, a long period of time. Once you got the law involved or the pen and paper involved, it complicated it, right? A lot of relationships got complicated because of that, right? And well, if you ask me, I don't think that was genuine love to begin with, right? Because love or loving somebody shouldn't be complicated. It shouldn't feel weird, right? To me, it shouldn't feel weird at all. It shouldn't. Of course, man, it doesn't feel weird loving my kids. I'll tell you that much. So if you divorce to another person that is not your seed, hats off to you. That's great, all right. But also, it's 2024. We live in a world where everything is all materialistic. Everything is based on substance, what you can do and cannot do, how much you can put on the table, what you can provide. That's the type of world we live in, all right. So somebody will come in because of what you can do or what you can put on the table, not necessarily that they are into you. That is not unconditional. That is conditional. So I tend to agree with him on this video. If a lot more relationships are based on conditions, a lot more relationships will eventually fall. Now, if that relationship was genuine and based on pure love, it can last forever, right? We've seen it. We've seen so many relationships last forever until death do them apart. We've seen it. We see it all the time. But I also believe that requires a lot of forgiveness, a lot of forgetfulness, right? You have to be able to forget, all right? Not that you forgot in your mind, but you get the gist of it. You should be able to let go, all right? But I believe that is true. That is based on forgiveness, being able to forgive, being capable of forgiving the next person. That's tough. We live in a world where it's hard. It's hard to let go. It's hard to forget how somebody made you feel. All right. So that's another one thing. Another thing about relationship, how you made me feel today. That can linger on for a long time if you're not careful, or if you're not dealing with the right person, that can move on easily. Something you did to them a year ago or 5 days ago can linger on into the future. Then what? All right. And they just blow up for something little that you just did, but you forget that. That thing was still lingering a year ago, 5 days ago, it's still lingering. So you did something little and then they just blow up, and that's the end of it. Me personally, I do believe that love should be unconditional. It shouldn't matter the size, the height, the looks, what it can do for you. It shouldn't matter. But we live in a world where it should matter also too, right? We live in a world where everything is based on what you can do, what you can give, what you can produce. What your makeup, what makes you, all right? So somebody might see you and might be attracted to what you do or how you talk or how you move. Not necessarily that they are interested in your whole makeup. They are interested in parts of your makeup, right? And then they get involved with you and they realize they get a whole 360 of your being, right? They get a whole 360 of your being, and they realize they don't like a lot of it than what attracted them to you, right? They dislike more of your being than they like some of it, all right? So I believe that all these things are or is part of the reason why a lot of relationships won't work. No matter how many times you get married, no how many times you go through the work, then no matter how many times you go through that, all right? You just gotta find. I believe the love has to be mutual, has to be unconditional. You just gotta be able to find the one that loves you for you, your whole being, all right? And it's not conditioned, all right? Yes, our capabilities, what we're capable of doing. I'm talking about the finances, being a family person, being there for the kids, things like that. These are a plus. This, if you ask me, should be given. This should be natural. I shouldn't have to, you shouldn't have to demand that from somebody. They should be able to exhibit those type of behaviors. Like, I want to take care of the kids. I want to do this. I want to love you. I want to treat you this way. Da da da. I want to talk to you a certain kind of way. I don't want to talk to you to make you feel some type of way. Right? These are all things that I believe were supposed to be instilled in you when you were younger, when you were grown up. All right. So when you're matured and grown, this should be given. All right. But if you have to take a vow to give those things, I will forever question people that take a vow to exhibit certain behavior. Like, when you met her, you liked her, right? You didn't take a vow to like her. Okay. Now, to continue loving her, you are taking a vow that, hey, you're not going to do certain things and all of that.